Okay. Bismillah. Sorry about that. It should be quicker everything. I don't know if I need the microphone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So Maghrib is getting later and later, and Isha is not getting any sooner. So we'll keep it a bit short. Surah al-Bayyinah, inshallah. This is where we left off last week. Before we recite or translate al-Bayyinah, let's just refresh the previous three surahs. What was the main theme that we identified last week? You remember? What was the main thread of these three surahs? Let's have that question in mind and go ahead and translate. By the fig, and do it with me. Olive, and Mount Sinai, and this safe city. So what are these three places? This is an allusion to Jerusalem, Palestine, and Mount Sinai, the place where Musa received revelation, alayhi salam, and Mecca, where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received revelation. So the three main places of revelation. We created the human being in, help me out, the best standing form, upright form. Then use context. Then what? He's the best. Brought him back to the lowest of the low. Except those who believe, do good deeds. Then
For them,
there's
a reward
a never-ending reward, never cut off reward. Then what makes you deny? Deen, Day of Judgment, accountability, religion, being held accountable for the way you live your life. Ba'du, afterwards, meaning after hearing this. Alaysa Allah, is Allah not
all wise?
the most wise of all judges, the best of judges? So what was the main theme of the three surahs, now that we translated this one?
The righteous deeds.
No, not righteous deeds. Iqra. Read. In the name of your Lord who created. Created human being from a clot. Read, and your Lord is al-Akram. Akram is like Kareem. Full of goodness, noble, generous. الذي علم بالقلم.
The one who taught him
The one who taught
with the pen.
by the pen. علم الإنسان,
Taught him what he did not.
taught the human being. ما لم يعلم. ما
What?
What? لم يعلم.
He did not know.
He did not know. Taught the human being what he did not know. So these are the first five ayahs of what? But what's special about these first five ayahs of Surah Al-Alaq? These are the first five ayahs of Surah Al-Alaq. These are also the first five ayahs of the Quran. How so? The first revelation. These are the first five ayahs of revelation. And again, what is these three things up there? The places of revelation. So what was the theme of the three surahs? Revelation. Yes. The place of revelation and some other things. The first revelation and some other things. And here, the time of revelation. Let's translate it. Indeed,
Send down.
we sent down, or we revealed. What's the who?
The ground.
It. Translate says it. We revealed it in
Night of power.
Night of Power. And
What will tell you
what will tell you, or what could give you an idea?
what
What
the night of power is?
is the Night of Power? What could give you any idea? What is the Night of Power? What could make you know what is the Night of Power?
Night
The Night of Power
is greater than
is not greater, is big, better. Better than 1,000 months. What do we do with this?
subject.
No, translate.
Come down.
It's coming down. Come down. Angels.
Try to make it a sentence.
The angels keep coming.
The angels and
The spirit.
Spirits.
the Spirit. Who's the Spirit?
Spirits.
Jibreel. The angels and the Spirit
Keep coming down.
come down. Keep coming down. Come down would just be nazala. Tanazzalu, they keep coming down. So the hint that this is not sent down is not the word tanazzalu itself, even though that's more advanced, you could figure that out. But the hint is that there's a oo sound on the next words. So it translates as the angels and angel Jibreel alayhi salam, they come down. They keep coming down. Fiha,
In it.
in it, meaning in Laylat al-Qadr. بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ,
The command
With-
of their Rabb.
not command,
Permission.
with the permission of their Lord.
Permission of God.
Yes. مِن كُلِّ أَمْرٍ, from every command. سلام هي,
It is.
peace it is, حتى مطلع الفجر, until the rise of Fajr, the coming up of Fajr. Sometimes Arabic teachers will say, hiya means she is, or it is, and huwa means he is, and ana means I am. They will automatically put the is, because every sentence that starts with a pronoun like this is followed by the be, is, am verb. Let me also just quickly translate the rest of the al-alaq that we didn't do. Right now. No way. Indeed, the human being keeps on rebelling, or rebels. He sees himself free of need. Indeed, to your Lord is the return, ultimate return. أرأيت, have you seen? الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى, the one who stops a slave when he prays. This is Abu Jahl stopping the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have you seen? إن كان على الهدى, what if he was on guidance? أو أمر بالتقوى, or commanded righteousness?
Slave. Why is one worship stops slave? What does sentence mean?
Have you seen the one who stops a slave when he prays? This is Abu Jahl, who was stopping the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam from praying at the Kaaba, threatening him. Have you seen what if he was on guidance or commanded righteousness? This man Abu Jahl, what if he was following the guidance? What a strong help he would be for the community of believers. أَرَأَيْتَ إِنْ كَذَّبَ وَتَوَلَّى, have you seen if he denied and turned away, meaning if he continues to deny and turn away from the message? What a vicious enemy he's going to be. أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ, does he not know? بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى, Allah sees, or that Allah sees. Does he not know that Allah sees? كَلَّا, no way. لَإِن لَمْ يَنْتَهِي, if he doesn't stop, this is the same word, ينهى, ينتهي. If he doesn't stop what he's doing, yanha means stop somebody else. Yantahi means stop what he's doing himself. If he doesn't stop what he's doing, we will drag him or we drag by the forelock, a lying, sinful forelock. Then let him call his crew or his people to call. We will call the law enforcement. No, don't be influenced. Don't obey. Don't pay any attention whatsoever to him. And make sujood and get near. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
What is it? Lanas faham binasya.
We will drag by the forelock, meaning the hair at the front of the forehead, at the top of the forehead. We will drag by the forelock. I mean, very clearly, many places in the Quran, Allah describes punishment in a way that is absolutely not literal. Allah's basically giving an entertaining description of the fact that He's going to punish anybody who opposes the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, threatens the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a theme you find throughout the Quran. The punishment Allah gives to people or threatens people of in this world sounds like that doesn't actually happen. Like, did Abu Jahl somehow get teleported by hanging on his forelock like this and being dragged? Like, this didn't happen, right? Or Allah says that He's going to brand him on the trunk. This is not Abu Jahl, this is Walid ibn al-Mughira. Allah's going to brand him on the trunk, meaning like an elephant trunk. That's not, like, that's just a metaphorical, an entertaining way to describe the fact that Allah's going to take care of him. Allah's going to stop his, or stop him or take care of him so he no longer opposes the Messenger. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Can you explain nasya to
Kadhiba, lying. Khati'a, sinful. A lying, sinful forelock. That's literally the translation. So these were 3 surahs of Revelation. The theme is Revelation. And this comes right after, like we talked about, this comes right after Al-Duha and Alam Nashrah, where we had identified that the Messenger ﷺ was seeking guidance. There was something he was trying to do. He wanted to do for his community, but he did not know how. And Allah guided him. And we had mentioned in Surah Alam Nashrah of the burden that Allah removed from the chests or the back of the Messenger ﷺ. What was that thing which he wanted guidance for? And Allah guided. What was that burden that Allah removed? We had connected these with the last surahs at the end of the Quran, that this was the fact that the Messenger ﷺ understood before he was 40 years old. He understood that his community needed to be improved or to be fixed. They needed to be more civilized. And they needed guidance, but he didn't know how to fix the problems in his community. And so it makes sense that the next few surahs talk about the coming of the revelation. The coming of the revelation that will help a community through Iman to fix it and be more righteous. Righteous deeds is basically what happens when something, the word for fixing in spoken Arabic is yuslih. Salih. So amal al-salih, righteous deeds, are things that fix situations. So it makes sense that the next surahs would be Revelation, and that develops the flow of the last surahs. From al-Duha to an-Nas, the flow of conversation continues. So within that conversation of Revelation, Allah mentions this discussion of Surah al-Bayyinah. لم يكن الذين كفروا. We haven't done this for a while, but we're going to do it now. Brackets. Lam, most of the times when we have a bracket, actually, lam yakun or lam, either one is fine. The bracket comes on the word lam. Lam, munfakkin. Actually, no, I should, let me correct that. Lam yakun. The bracket should go on lam yakun, not just lam. My mistake. Okay, so let's translate those two bracketed words or phrases. Lam yakun. Where can we find the meaning of lam yakun? Yakun is highlighted, so it's not going to be in the reference sheets, but lam is. So lam is not. What about yakun? If it's highlighted and I'm asking you where to find it, where can we find it?
Ikhlas.
In another surah. What's another surah with the highlighted word yakun or something like it? Surah al-Ikhlas. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And what did that mean? You can go back to Surah al-Ikhlas. Take a look. What does yakun mean? That's what we're looking for specifically. Is. And there was that whole discussion of the fact that literally means did not be, which means was, which seemed to mean that no one was equal to Allah, but now people might be. And we discussed that this means no one has ever been, nor will anyone ever be. We discussed this for yakun, right? So yakun means be, did not be. Munfakkin. Now, this is a rare word, but when we did Surah al-Balad, we had another occurrence of this word. And this falls under the category of those words that for the longest time I felt like this is a word you won't find anywhere else in the Quran. And then, oh, wait a second, it comes here. It's very rare. You'll find it very rarely in the Quran. Yet it comes in Surah al-Balad. So it's a word that's not highlighted. It's not dark. Munfakkin. Split. Fakku raqaba. Fak. Munfakkin. So the mun at the beginning is extra, and the een at the end is extra. Munfakkin. So did not split. That's what the word means. Did not split. But every time the word yakun comes, it means something more than just didn't split. So here I'm going to write it down. Weren't going to split. What do we do? Eraser doesn't work. Weren't. Or the computer doesn't work. Weren't going to. That's what yakun means. Lam yakun, they were not going to split. Who was not going to split? The entire phrase in between are the ones who were not going to split. الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ. All of these people. So if you wanted to, you could put a bracket for this whole phrase. These are the ones who لَمْ يَكُنْ مُنْفَكِّينَ. We're not going to split. So this might be easy for you to translate. What do you think? الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ. Go ahead.
Those who disbelieved
Those who disbelieved,
from the book, from the previous
From
book,
the.
from the people of the book,
people of the book,
and the mushrikeen and the polytheists.
polytheists, idol worshippers, pagans. Yes. Ahl, people of the book. We had Ashab al-Fil, people of the elephant, right? This is a very similar word. Ashab literally means, anybody remember?
Friend, companion,
Companions. What does Ahl literally mean? Here, people of the book, but what does Ahl mean?
Family.
Family. The family of the book. That would be a strange translation. From the family of the book. Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book. SubhanAllah. So, they're closely tied to the book just like family is close. So they were not going to split حتى تأتيهم البينة. Look at the screen. البينة. Oh, that's not a thing. Let's go. البينة تأتيهم حتى تأتيهم البينة. So what does that do to the translation? Yep, so translate. Whatever words you don't know, just say. Like for example, say bayina if you don't know the meaning of bayina. Until bayina comes to them. That's what the arrow means, double arrow. Until bayina comes to them. What is bayina?
Clear proof.
Clear proof. That's what they have in the translation. What does that mean? Clear proof. Well, the next Revelation, exactly. So this surah falls in the context of Revelation. It makes sense. Clear proof is the revelation. But the next ayah further explains what is al-Bayyinah. So this is a special kind of adjective that doesn't really exist in English. The whole sentence, رَسُولٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ يَتْلُو صُحُفًا مُطَهَّرَةً, that whole sentence is an adjective. That doesn't work in English. Like, the whole sentence is an adjective, that doesn't work. In English, in Arabic, it's the closest we have is an adjective. They call it badal in grammar. So bayyina is being further described as Rasulun min Allah yatlu suhufan mutahhara. So the translation could go, they were not going to split until clear proof came to them, and the clear proof is Rasulun min Allah. But the part and the clear proof is not there in word for word. It's implied by the fact that this whole sentence is describing bayyin. So let's translate. Rasulun.
Messenger.
What about Rasulun, the un at the end? A messenger. Al-Rasul. Al-Rasul, the messenger. Rasulun, a messenger. So this is a reference back to reference number 1 in the gray box over here. When a word has tanween at the end, it means a. So Rasulun, a messenger. Al-Rasul, the messenger. That's what I was referring to. Rasulun, a messenger. So what is the clear proof? The clear proof is a messenger. Min Allah. Yusuf. Min Allah. Min Allah. From Allah. يتلو صحفا مطهرة. What was the messenger doing?
He reads.
Reciting. I'll need more space here, so I'll put a comma. Reciting. صحفا is a new word, but it's highlighted, so it's very important. Pages. Pages. But for us, it means pages. Sahifa. But there's actually another word for page, صفحة, actually, صفحة, صحيفة, صفحة. It's confusing. But do you think it meant pages for people living at the time of the Prophet? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Did they have books in the form of pages? So how could we otherwise translate it for them? Tablets? Inscriptions? What's the other word they use in English? Sahif. Scrolls? That's not scrolls. But it could mean scrolls. Yes. So it's not pages. Pages is what we have in modern day. But it could be anything that has content in writing. مطهرة. Pure. So then let's translate يتلو صحفا مطهرة. Reciting pure pages. So we swap صحفا and مطهرة. Reciting pure pages. Why do we swap them?
They make more sense in English.
Because in English that's the way we say it. And this is another case of adjectives. The carpet, the masjid has a carpet blue. No, blue carpet in English. But in Arabic you would say the masjid has a carpet blue. So it's swapped because the way we say it in English. Every time we had this, I mentioned before, I actually mentioned it in detail last week, it has to match. So I didn't show you last week. When we had that double arrow for the swap, al-waswasi matches al-khannasi, or more so, al-khannasi matches al-waswasi. There's al on both, and there's a kasra at the end of both. That's how you know that khannas is describing waswas. The same thing happens for ma'kul. Ma'kulin is the same format as asfin. There's no al and it's a tanween and it's a kasra tanween. Ma'kulin, asfin. So that's how you know that ma'kul is describing asf. Same thing in Surah Al-Fatiha. I didn't put the arrow. At least not in this video. As-sirata al-mustaqima. Both have al and both have a fatha at the end. So when they match, that means that the next word is describing the previous one. When they match like this. So the same thing goes for suhufan mutahharatan. Both have a tanween and both have a fatha. Tanween fatha. There's one thing that might be a question mark. And that's on purpose that I'm bringing this question mark. This will come in handy in a few weeks, inshallah. When we're going to have quite a few of these question marks in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, inshallah. A few surahs, not too many surahs away. What is the question mark? Mutahharatan has a ta marbuta at the end. And ta marbuta is an indication of female, or what we call feminine. But suhufan doesn't have a ta marbuta. Is suhuf feminine such that mutahhara should be feminine? It doesn't look feminine. And page is not a feminine word in Arabic. Remember how I mentioned the sun is a she in Arabic, the moon is a he. So this word is not feminine. So something happened here. Why is there a ta marbuta here even though there isn't a ta marbuta on suhufan? We'll discuss that in a few weeks, inshallah. فيها كتب قيمة. So the same thing happened in كتب قيمة. Both of them at the end. And the same thing happens with ta marbuta. Why is there a ta marbuta on qayyima even though there isn't on kutub? So what does this last part mean? فيها كتب قيمة. فيها? In it. In her, literally. In it, meaning in the she, it. فيها. In it, كتب.
Written.
Written.
Something in writing. Yes. So pages, suhuf, is something that contains something in writing. So the kutub is the things in writing. Otherwise, if you say books, that doesn't make sense because how can books be in pages? Something in writing. What kind of thing in writing? qayyimah. Let me put a box on the word qayyimah. What does that mean that I put a box on the word qayyimah?
Day of Judgment. Qiyamah.
What does it mean that I put a box first?
It means that there's the same word in
The same word somewhere else. The same word somewhere else on the double page. So open the book 2 pages. Because it's not on the same page, it's on the page across. That's what boxed words mean. So remember, anzalna is boxed, tanazzalu is the word like it. Amrin is boxed, amara is the word like it. So here, what's the word like? Qayyima, somewhere on the same double page. Yusuf, go look for it. Taqweem. Everybody see taqweem? Is it really the same? What 3 letters? Because we need 3 letters to be able to say it's the same.
Yeah,
Qa,
I mean,
ya, mim. Or qa, wa, mim, because we already know wa and ya are interchangeable, remember? So qa, wa, mim, or qa, ya, mim. So in the word taqweem, the ta is extra. Like many times, ta is extra. And what does taqweem mean? Upright standing form. Standing form. So it's not just form, it has to do with standing. What does qayyima mean then? These writings or instructions that are in the pages, in the pure pages, they are qayyima. What do you think that means?
upright.
Upright. Yeah. So I didn't write the word upright last time. Let me write upright this time. Upright teachings, upright instructions, upright things in writing. So this was the first sentence of the surah. Took a minute to translate. The ones who disbelieve from the people of the book and the idol worshippers were not going to split until the clear proof came to them, a messenger from Allah reciting pure pages that have upright instructions in, we would say in them. I forgot to mention this. So we said in it, and it is a she, it, because it's ha. So what is ha referring to? Well, there's actually 2 options. The ha could be referring to Bayyinah. Bayyinah is a feminine word. It has a ta marbuta at the end. So in it, meaning in the clear proof. In the clear proof is upright teachings. Or in the suhuf. The suhuf are described as ta marbuta. For some reason we don't know yet. We're going to find out in a few weeks. So it could be that the ha refers to suhufan mutahhara, pure pages, pure inscriptions, or pure things that have things in writing. So what does this all mean? They were not going to split until a messenger comes to them, reciting the instructions of Allah, upright instructions of Allah. What does it mean that they were not going to split? They were not going to split from their old ways. Allah sent Adam to earth. And generations went by, nobody lost track that Allah is the only God. For generations upon generations. People got messed up, they did bad things, like the sons of Adam, one of them killed the other. You know the story, right? But everybody continued to only worship Allah. Nobody was worshipping other than Allah. Until eventually, the people of Noah, they start worshipping idols. This was the first success story of Iblis, who got people to worship other than Allah. So what does Allah do? He sends revelation to Noah, and saves people. And then, same thing, generations go by, and after some more time, people lose track of Allah and start worshipping other than Allah sends revelation. And again, people, after generations, they go astray, and Allah sends revelation. Throughout history, people keep on losing track of Allah is the only one who needs to be worshipped. Every community might have a few people who don't worship other than Allah. They just have that natural fitrah that they worship only Allah. But as a community, the community slowly goes astray. Because of political influences and things like that, people go astray. And so when a whole community is worshipping other than Allah, even if the community might have a few people who are not following the general trend of worshipping idols, the community in general is worshipping idols. So Allah sends a messenger. When the community gets so messed up because of their idol worship, Allah sends a messenger. And when a messenger comes, it brings them back. Or it has the purpose of bringing them back. So that's what Allah is describing. That people were not, when the community goes astray from the true message of Allah, the only thing that will bring them back, the only thing that will make them split from their astrayness, split from their misguidance, that's what munfakin means. To cut off from their misguidance. The only thing that will make them abandon their misguidance is a clear proof. It takes that much for a whole community to make a U-turn, to split from their bad community by misguidance. That's what this ayah is saying. وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. So now that Allah has described quite extensively what it takes for a community to abandon their misguidance and come back to the right path. Now that Allah has explained extensively, it is something very clear. It's a clear proof. It's not just a messenger. He has revelation that he recites that's from Allah, that is very clear and upright. It's not just revelation that is clear and upright. It's a messenger. They have him with them. They can see the character of the messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So all of that whole package of the revelation plus the messenger, or the messenger plus the revelation, that whole package is what it takes for people to abandon their misguidance and come back to the right way of life. Now that Allah has explained this, He explains more about community dynamics. وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. So let's look at تَفَرَّقَ first. What does ma mean? Let's look for ma.
What?
What? Yes. Or what's the other meaning of ma?
No.
Not at all. Either what or not at all. تَفَرَّقَ. Forgot to open the file. Let me go ahead and open the file. Do I have? Let's forget where they're. So I'm opening the Tajweed Nusxa. Anybody remember why?
Because it has the explanation on the side.
It has the explanations on the side. One of them we're going to look at whenever it opens. We're going to go to Surah Al-Zalzalah, which is right after al-Bayyinah. So take a look at Surah Al-Zalzalah so you can follow along with what I'm showing you. Oh, Zalzalah, perfect. Alright, so in Ayah 6 of Surah Al-Zalzalah, let's translate Ayah 6 first. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَصْدُرُ النَّاسُ أَشْتَاتًا لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُم. This is a refresher. يَوْمَئِذٍ, on that day. يَصْدُرُ النَّاسُ. People will move forward. Yes. So nasu is the subject of yasduru. And yes, sadr is chest, and that's a hint that forward, they say chestward in Arabic. That's not really the way that they look at it, but that's the way we can look at it. That on that day, people will move forward, ashtatan, in groups. لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُمْ, to be shown their deeds. To see their deeds, but literally to be shown their deeds. Okay, so why am I bringing this up? Because look at what we have for ashtatan. Ashtatan means متفرقين. And that is the word we're looking at right now. وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ. So, متفرقين is the description of ashtatan. What does ashtatan mean?
Groups.
In groups. Divided into different groups. So, تفرق means divide.
Is the making it meaning to divide?
No, تفرق, the ta is a little more advanced than. How can I make it very quick?
It's not a machine.
Okay. The تفرق, the ta of تفرق is the same ta as the ta of تنزل.
Continuous.
It's added, but it's still part of the word. It's not part of the root, but it's part of the word. It's that kind of a form. So this is not for anytime soon. Rather, towards the very end of the program, once we finish 2 juz or more, we look at these different forms of words. Nazala is the root. Tanazzala, I translated here as keep on coming down. Tafarraqa, firaq is a group. Tafarraqa means turn into groups, get divided into groups. So, وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. So let me help you here. I'll put a bracket above, like we did on the first ayah. الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ.
Those who were given the book.
That was quick, mashallah. Those who were given the book. What about them? Look at the bracket. Look at the screen. They are the ones who ما تفرق.
Don't do.
إلا. What does إلا mean? لا إله إلا الله. No God except Allah. So إلا, except. What divided these people? Except. Or these people, what divided them? What did not divide? Except. So here is a case where the ma, that means what, combined with illa, means nothing but. Not at all, except nothing but. So these people, they did not get divided except من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة. What should we do first? Let's finish the sentence. بعد, let's put a box on it. What does بعد mean? There's a box on it. After, where did you find that? بعد بالدين. Isn't that a common word in the Quran? It came twice already here. I mean, sometimes the word comes twice, doesn't mean it's a very common word. Like munfakkin came twice in the short surahs, but it's not a common word. But ba'du sounds more common, doesn't it? Ba'd. So why is it not black or highlighted? If a word is common, but it's not black or highlighted, it's because it's in the reference sheets. So where is it? Which reference sheet is it on?
Page 3.
Page 3. Page 3 we have in the section after the baklava boxes. After. So these people did not get divided except min ba'di doesn't make sense. From after. The word min is used for emphasis in many cases. Even after. Right after. closely after. I don't think I'll have time to finish this one. جاءتهم البينة. We know these words. البينة جاءتهم. Who can translate? What came to them? The clear proof came to them. So the ma is also not translated. It's used to connect bound with جاءتهم البينة. You could say بعد أن جاءتهم البينة, or you can say بعد ما جاءتهم البينة. Both of them are correct. And both of them is a way to connect. And if you look at the word "en," that's what it does. After that, what? After what, basically? After clear proof came to them. These people did not get divided until after the clear proof came to them. Okay? Who are these people again?
People that are given the
What's the question, sister?
جاءتهم البينة. What does this mean?
بينة. Clear proof. Clear proof. جاءتهم. Where did you find جاء? I know you translated it without. إذا جاء نصر الله. جاء, come. Until clear proof comes to them. So who are these people again? الذين أوتوا الكتاب. What's the translation?
those people that are given the book.
Those people who were given the book. I'll actually keep that for next week. Utu, specifically. I'll keep that for next week. Those who were given the book. Just take that translation. I'll just write given over here. Just take it at face value. Those who were given the book. So we talked about this 2 weeks ago. What does it mean that they did not get divided until after the clear proof came to them? They were all together. And then when the clear proof comes to them, meaning the messenger, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he comes to them, then they get divided. What does that mean? What was it that none of them, especially, this is not idol worshippers and people of the book, this is specifically the people of the book, Jews and Christians. What was it that they all agreed on that they no longer agreed on when the messenger came? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because that's what this means. They got divided after he came.
That he is the.
They all agreed that there was a prophet coming in Medina. When he came, they no longer all agreed. A few of them agreed that this was the one. A few of you believed that this was the one, but many of them didn't believe, and they got divided. And they even cast out Abdullah ibn Salam, their leader, when he became Muslim, and he accepted the messenger as his messenger. They excommunicated him. You're not Jewish anymore. You're not from us anymore. And Allah goes at length explaining what was the reason why they didn't accept him. They wanted somebody from the descendants of Islam. They started questioning Jibreel. Who's he getting revelation from? Jibreel? No. We need somebody from us. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Okay.
What is Maja'atum?
So the ma is just there to connect. Bound after. Ja'athum al-Bayyinah. After clear proof comes to them. Meaning after the messenger came to them. They did not get divided until after the messenger came to them. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Good? We'll continue next week, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك